You do not want to miss this episode where, again, we see the similarities between the corrupt media establishment in the United States and Israel, both driving political agendas instead of reporting the truth to the masses. How ironic! Israeli Justice Minister Nissenkorn just announced that he is leaving Benny Gantz's Blue and White Party to join a new left-wing party to be led by Tel Aviv Mayor Ron Huldai. Welcome back to another episode of The Pulse of Israel, where I share with you a proud Jewish voice from Israel, sharing the truth about Israel, the Jewish people, and the whole freedom-loving world. We are a small outfit, yet stifled and censored by big tech out to shut down our opinions as well. If you want to support our work, please share this video, sign up for the Pulse of Israel newsletter, or give a donation. It all helps, and it can all be done on our website, pulseofisrael.com. Okay, so why did I say that it is ironic that Nissenkorn just left Benny Gantz's party, and how is this connected to the media in the United States of America? All right, let's get started. Well, last week, Benny Gantz stood up and defended his Justice Minister Nissenkorn in the face of Netanyahu's pressure to either have Nissenkorn fired or cut down on his powers in the Justice Ministry. Why? In order to save the government from falling. That's why Netanyahu wanted him to fire him. Gantz said no. Nissenkorn today stabbed Gantz in the back by leaving his Blue and White Party. Gantz will go down in the history books as a tragic Israeli politician who should have never entered politics. He is not a politician, and he is not a leader. He became the head of the IDF by accident. There were other people in front of him, but it didn't work out. Even though he didn't deserve to be the head of the IDF. Officers who served under him publicly stated that he was not a leader and that he was horrible at making decisions. And as a politician, the head of a party, the alternate prime minister who's supposed to be prime minister one day, his own party members are leaving him in droves, including his ministers like Nissenkorn. Not a good sign for a leader. Now, Gantz is a good guy, a nice guy, but not a leader and not a politician. He was used by the ideological left and the media to topple Netanyahu, and now he is being thrown away since everyone now sees he is a failed leader and he can't and has no chance of ever getting rid of Netanyahu. This also highlights the corruption of Israeli media that propped this guy up as the best prime minister for Israel. Not because he was deserving of it, but because he was their best shot with good marketing and all the media to topple Netanyahu. Before the previous elections, a story broke that Gantz's phone was hacked by Iran and that Iran had private information from his phone and therefore that Gantz was compromised, making it a horrible move for him to become prime minister. Can you imagine an Israeli prime minister compromised by Iran? If you think about it, that's just as bad as a United States president compromised by China. Guess what the Israeli media did with that story on Iran hacking his phone? The media said that it was fake news, planted by Likud operatives to hurt Gantz's chances to get elected. Guess what? 2 nights ago, Ilana Dayan on her primetime television program Uvda, Facts, here in Israel, delved into the story, showing that it was all true, and it was all known back then. Gantz's phone was hacked by Iran, and Iran has compromising information on Benny Gantz. Yet the Israeli media hid this story before the elections because he was their best chance at toppling Netanyahu. It was the Israeli media establishment that pushed the fake news that it was a nothing burger Likud lie in order to push their ideological agenda to topple Netanyahu. Sound like the Hunter Biden laptop before the US elections? Well, this is the modus operandi of the media establishment in Israel and the USA. So no, I don't believe all the lies about the Netanyahu court cases painting Netanyahu as one of the most corrupt Israeli politicians ever. As well, I don't believe the lies of the United States media denying the existence of vast irregularities and voter fraud in the 2020 elections. This is the same US media that, as I mentioned before, as they did before the elections, they said the Hunter Biden laptop story was fake news and they hid it, while it has now been exposed as being true, showing that Joe Biden might very well be compromised by China. Media establishment hit it all. For too many people, the cognitive dissonance of not being able to trust what they see, hear, or read in the daily mainstream news is too much for them to handle. They don't want to go there. So instead, they believe the agenda-driven fake news that they are fed by the establishment media on a daily basis. For the rest of you, keep on speaking your mind. And don't be afraid to be vocal with your opinions that sometimes even your own friends and family are delegitimizing you for having, and for even trying to silence you from making your opinions heard. No, make your voices heard. Your voices are important. And yes, the United States 2020 elections are still not over, and Joe Biden is still not president-elect. Those are the facts, still, that the agenda-driven media in the United States are still hiding from the public. Folks, life is good. Just don't trust everything you see, hear, or read in the media establishment.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.